welcome to my channel Coda King. In this video I want to give you a brief introduction on the concept functions in C. So the two main types of functions. The two main types of functions are user-defined functions and inbuilt functions. User-defined functions are nothing but the functions which you can define, means you can design your own functions in C programming. That are user-defined functions, and the inbuilt functions are the functions which already exist. That means main function, printf function, scanf function are the some inbuilt functions. So in math.h library you have ceil function, floor function, so power function. These are the inbuilt, and so before going to the actual concept, why we should use the functions. So first one is to minimize the code, because it helps to reuse the reusage of same code. So to minimize the code and the reusage of same code, it helps you to write the code in the minimize. So for accurate result, for identifying errors easily, and reduces compilation time. These are some uses. So if you are into a programming company, if you got a job of a programmer, do you think you are the only one who is going to do the entire project? No. So your team members will share the project. So they all would combine the project by using functions. Different they do different tasks, and they combine all their tasks using functions. And so categories of functions. So there are 4 categories of the functions. So arguments are nothing but your inputs. If you are giving inputs to a function, those are called arguments. And the return values are the things which are you getting out from the function. So if I am giving arguments, and I'm getting no return values. If I am giving my arguments to the function and I am getting no return values, then it comes under first type, arguments, and with arguments and without return values. If I am not giving any arguments from my main function to my to the user defined function, so this is no without arguments and with the return values. And same as without arguments with return values, and with arguments and with return values. These would be clear. So I would execute a program to make it clear. So some of the terms are calling function. So call function, from where I am calling my function. So which function I am calling. So function definition and the function prototype are some of the terms used when you are using function in C. So let's execute a C program. So I am executing a program, let's take to square a number by using all these 4 types. So first I am using with arguments and without return values. I am using a function. So what I would do is, as usual, --include header file. So let's write a normal program to square a number. I am taking one number, so I am scanning that number. Format specifier is %d and ampersand a. So just b is equal to, I am squaring this one and I am printing b. This is the normal program, comma b. So if I execute, what would I get? If I give so if I give 2, what I would get? 4. So this is a normal program to square a number. So I am using the function, I am using with arguments and without return values. So how you should do that? So first I said now there are the terms. Function calling, you should have your function calling, function called, and the function definition and the prototype. You should have all these terms in your program. So first I am function prototype. So what is function prototype is nothing but what I want to do. So I should define what my function is. So what my function is, that is the prototype of a function. So I am defining, I said na, I should write a program with arguments and without return values. So with arguments. So what is with arguments is, I want to give the values from main function. I want to give my main arguments from main function to my defined function. So return value is void. It would be clarity for you if you have watched this video till then. So void, I am defining my function as square. So I am defining my function as square, and in that I said I should give arguments from the main function. So which type of arguments I am sending? I am sending an integer type of integer type. So I am giving my integer arguments from the main function to the square root function. I am giving integer arguments. I am returning no return values. I am returning no return values. So that this is the prototype of the function, and the prototype of the function should end with a semicolon. Okay. So after scanning this A, so let's print a message to enter a number. Enter a number. So after scanning my result, what I am doing? Yes, I am sending my inputs. Arguments are nothing but the inputs. I am sending my inputs of square root function from the main function. So first I said first you have to call the function. So what is the name of the function? Square is the name of the function. S-Q-U-A-R-E. Square is the name of my function. So which you want to send from main function to the user defined function. This is your user defined function. Okay. So which you want to send? I want to send A. I want to send A to my function. So this is the prototype of a function. I am sending an argument from my main function to my user defined function. So this is the prototype. This is the function. Always main function calls another function. So this is the function which is calling calling function. My main function here is a calling function, and my square is the called function here in this case. Okay. So function prototype is over. Called function, calling function, and function definition I should write. So function definition is, I am same as the prototype, same as prototype. So and here, so you can declare the same variable over here or a different variable. So I am declaring if A. Okay, I am declaring A here. So this A, the argument which I am sending from main function to the square root function is stored in this function, in this variable. You can also change it as B or A something, because these are the local variables. This A and B does not affect my user defined function, my square function, because these are the functions in the block. In this block only A and B exist. I can write here A or B or C, whatever it may be. The same, I can write the same also. So this is my function definition. So what I want to do in function. So you can directly write return. So I just don't want to return anything, right? I don't want to return anything. So what I would do, I can declare a variable which is B. So these variables have no effect on these variables, because in this block itself my A is declared. So I can change, if I change the value of A here, there is no change of the value. There is no change in this value. So I am declaring B, or otherwise B is equal to A into A, somewhat like that. So I am printing here because I don't want to send any arguments. %d comma B. or directly you can print a into a without declaring another variable. You can directly print a. So what I want to do, so here if there is no written value, these are the data type of my written value. So no written value is void. Okay, no written value is void. This is the data type of my written value, and this is the data type of my argument which I am sending over there. So I am sending the value of a from my main function to the square root function. So I am calling my function. I am calling my square root function, and then in this square root function, whatever the arguments I am giving, it should be integers, and this value is copied into this one. I can use a, I can use b, I can use something like n. Okay, whatever you do, you can use. But remember that there is no change in the value of a. There is no change in the value of a if my n value is changed. If I have a change in my n value to something, there is nothing with the value of a. Okay. So this is the function calling with value. I am calling my function with value. Okay. There is also a function which you can call with the reference. So calling by value. So you have another function calling by reference. That is a different case that we make use of pointers over there. So that is a different case. So calling by value is the only thing which you should learn first. After that, if you are okay with the concept of pointers, you can use call by reference. This is calling by value. So I am executing this one. Compile and run. So enter a number, I am entering 3. So what I would get is 9. Okay. This is with arguments. I am sending an argument from main function to this user defined function, and I am returning no value. Remember, I am returning no value. So let's interchange this one now. So my first type is over. So let's go to second type, without arguments and with written values. So without arguments, I don't want to send any arguments from my main function to my user defined function. So without arguments means I should not keep anything over here because I am not sending anything. Okay. So end. What I want to do, I am returning a value. I am returning my from my void function. I am returning a value to main function. Okay. Just I am returning a value. So this I said now, this is the data type of my return value. So which value I want to return? I want to return a integer value. So as you know that the square of an integer is also an integer, I am returning a integer value. So you should change here also. This is integer. Okay. And over here, I don't want to return any value. I don't want to send any arguments. I am just calling my function. SQUARE. I am just calling my function. So without any value, I am just calling a function. So after calling my function, the cursor will go to here. So int square of int n. So I am declaring here n, and I am scanning the value of n. So no. Here no inputs. Okay. So I am declaring n over here. I am declaring the value of a or n something, some variable. So I am scanning that one, %d comma ampersand a. If you want, you can write a printf statement, printf enter a number, just a message. So what I want to do is, I just want to return value from my this function, from my square function to my main function. Okay. So what I would do, I would write a statement as something like what I want to return. I want to return the square. Okay, I want to return the square. B is equal to a into a, or directly you can write return a into a. Return a into a. Okay. I am returning my square of my number. So this return value, if I give an 2 here, this return value, this 4 will be sent to this square root function. So this square root function you can write directly as printf %d comma square root of a. Okay, you can write like this, there is no problem with it. I'm just printing my function value. You can write like this. So I'm executing and I want to show you. So I forgot to keep semicolon over here. So I'm executing. So I'm giving 2 and I'm getting 4. The same result but in a different way. I'm just printing the value of square here. So you can do like this, or you can just declare another variable, because if you called a function and I am returning the a into a value here. So if I am returning a into a, this value is stored in this function, but not I just should assign another variable b is equal to something. I should assign the value of this into another variable, and also I can print it in the two ways. Directly I can print a %d comma square root square, or I can assign my square value to another variable. I can assign my return value to another variable and I can print that. In both ways you can do it. Okay, %d comma b. In both ways you can do it. No change in the result, final result. So 749. So this is the case of no arguments and written values. I am not passing anything from my main function to my function. This is my user defined function. I have defined this one. So I am not giving any value from my main function. This is the calling main function to this function, but I am returning a value. Yes, I am returning a value from my user defined function to main function. Okay, this is the second type. So this is a function prototype, this is the function prototype, and this is the function which is calling. My main function is the function which is calling, and square is the function which is called. So square function is called by my main function. Okay, and this is the definition of a function. What I want to do is the definition of a function. You can also write the function program at the top and the main program down. At that time there is no need of using the prototype. You can also use do this entire thing at top and the main function down. Okay, but at that time there is no need to use this prototype. Okay, and the third type is without any arguments and without written values. So my entire program will be in my user defined function. My entire program, because I am not giving any argument. I am not passing any inputs from my main to my function, and I am not getting any written values. So no arguments, so nothing you should write over here without written values. So void is my data type. Void. Okay, so here also void. I'm just deleting all this. I'm just calling a function. I'm just calling a function in my main function. So what happens in my main function? It will go to here. So void square. I have declared my prototype, my function called, my function calling, and my function definition. What I want to do over here, I just print the result. I just don't want to return anything, so I would print the result. %d comma a star a. I would just print the result. Okay, this is the third type, without arguments. I am not giving any arguments. I am just calling the function. And without any arguments, I have declared a over here. I am scanning this one, and I am also giving my result in my user defined function. This is the third type. And the fourth type is, yes, I am giving my arguments, and yes, I am getting my return values. So this is the third type. So what I would do is, yes, I am getting arguments. I am giving arguments. Which type of arguments I am giving? I am giving integer type of arguments. And which you want to return, which type of return value you are getting? I am getting an integer type of values. Okay, I am giving an integer arguments, arguments of data type integer, and returning the values which are of integer type. So in my function prototype, you should declare int over here. So this is the return data type of return values and data type of the arguments. So I am changing my function definition also. So okay, so any variable a or something. So before that, as I am returning the value, so let's take I am returning the value of a. I am scanning my a value in my main function ampersand a. So what I am do? I will call my function square function. Square is the name of the function, and I am calling my function. Okay. So as I am giving arguments, what is the argument I am giving? A is the thing. So the value of a I want to send over here. Okay, let's take here n, something n, whatever it may be. So I am just calling a function, my square function, and I am giving input a. So what is the value, or what is the data type of a? Integer. So as it is, I am doing. Okay, and I am giving inputs over here. This value of a will be stored in over here, over n. This value will be stored in here, and what I want to do, I just want to calculate something over here, and I want to return my value. What I want to calculate, just calculate a into b, or you can directly write return a into a. So I am sending my a value, n into n, because this function don't know what is the value of a. If I execute this one, let's take it as b, as I have said earlier. I want to print the value of b. So as I execute this one, I am getting error over here. As I said earlier, only this block, only main function node knows what is a value and what is b, what is a and what is b. As I have not declared anything in my function, this don't know the value of a. So I got the error as variable undeclared. So a is undeclared. So this function, this square function, only knows the value of integer. N. Only know the value of n. So this is how you should write a program to send my arguments to the function and return the value. Okay. So I am executing. Let's give 10. 100 is my square. Okay. So yes, I am giving an arguments from a main function, and I am returning. So maximum people would do the functions in this type, with arguments and with return values. Maximum functions, in the case of functions, people would use this fourth type, that is with arguments and with return values. So let's have a glance on what we have studied. So functions, and two main types of functions: user defined functions and inbuilt functions, mains, printf. As of now, what is my user defined function? My square is my user defined function, which I have used, and inbuilt function, main function, and printf scanner, something like that, power, seal, float, absolute. So these are some of the inbuilt functions. And what are the use of functions? To minimize the code, to reusage of code, accurate. These all you will come to know when you are really into the programming of functions. These would be You can understand them easily. Okay, and these are the 4 types categories of the function which you have used, and these are the terms. Calling function, always maximum, my calling function is my main function, and the called function is something function which you have defined is the called function. And function definition, as you know, function prototype, and what I want to tell is a function can call the same function. Okay, a function here, in this example I am calling a square function. So in here I can call my square function in my function. This is nothing but the recursive function. So I can call my function in a function. In my square function I am calling again my square function. This is example of recursive function calling itself. So it is calling itself is my recursive function. And the point to be noted that main function also can call itself. So if main function, let's write a program. I am calling my main function. So what I want to do is, just I have written a program to in which my main function is calling a main function. So I would execute this one. So infinite times, okay, it will go on executing, because just see what is happening inside. So I am declaring int main, and the printf, I am a programmer and I am again calling my main function. So what happens is, again it will go over here, and it will print I am a programmer, and again call the main function, and again go here, and this will continue infinite times. Okay, and the point to be noted that user defined functions, any other functions cannot call the main function. Only a main function can call the main function, but user defined function can call another user defined function. Okay, so you can call in the previous example. So in this example it is a user defined function. Okay, you can call this, if you call the same function, it is a recursive function. You can call another function, another same user defined function. Okay, and you should not call a main function in a user defined function. Okay, let's see what happens if you call a main function in a user defined function. So see, so what happened here. So let's write here printf statement for better understanding. Printf enter a number, enter a name, something, enter a number. So I am entering 2. So I am entering 5, and again 7, 9, 0, something. Just I am calling a square function. I am calling a square function, and then here the cursor go to here, and in the square function I am calling main function. So again the story begins, and again over here this calls this calls this, and again. So you should give infinite numbers to get my value. You should give infinite numbers. So you cannot call a main function. You cannot call main function in a user defined function. This is all about the basics of your functions, and I hope this video is useful. If you find this useful, please like it, share it, comment and subscribe, and thank you for watching.